All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. All right, so the Fed decides to keep rates steady. The Fed decides to keep rates steady. Now, a lot of people were expecting this. A lot of people were also expecting a 25 basis cut. And I actually was expecting a 25 basis point cut. Well, I was expecting the cycle, the pattern to continue from 2024. Remember, every time the Fed met up last year for the last 3 or 4 consecutive times, I think since July, they were saying that he cut rates ever since July. Every meeting starting from July, rates got cut. They didn't remain the same and they didn't increase. So it did. I didn't know if it shocked the market. I think a lot of people, some people were expecting this, but a lot of people were hoping they turned around and just did a 25 basis point cut, and that didn't happen. So what's going on with the markets? What's going on with crypto? What's going on with stocks? I think initially the market tanked, but I I honestly think for the crypto market, I think it's just gonna keep going up. I don't think this is really gonna affect it much. A lot of people, they put a lot of faith in, okay, if the Fed cuts rates, crypto prices are gonna soar. And for me, it's just a cyclical cycle, a cyclical thing that crypto's gonna go up. The year after the halving, people expect crypto prices to go parabolic, and I don't think that's going to change no matter what the Fed does. Obviously, we didn't want them to increase interest rates, but the fact that they kept it steady just shows that, okay, well, they probably think inflation is still somewhat out of control, right? And people were saying, oh, it was out of control last year, and but they were still decreasing interest rates, right? Like they were saying, like the numbers didn't really show the real story, and we shouldn't be decreasing interest rates. A lot of people are actually arguing that interest rates should increase, but who knows, right? We know we're in a lot of debt, and but again, the Fed's job is just to stabilize the market. They don't want to scare people off, and they want to keep people calm. So yeah, but I think this shocked the market. I think this tanked a couple some prices. But let's take a look, and let me share my screen. All right, so yeah, there's this article here. It says cautious Fed holds rates steady with Trump unknowns looming over outlook. It says Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell did not want to spend much time Wednesday talking about a new U.S. president who's already posing challenges to the central bank by asking that interest rates come down a lot. Yeah, Jerome Powell and Trump don't have the best relationship, and there was actually talks about him firing Jerome Powell once he got in, but I don't think he could do that. I know he did it, or he was implying that he would do it for Gary Gensler, but that's not the case, right? Like I don't think he can just come in and fire the Fed, right, the chair. So yeah, they don't have a good relationship, and the fact that he kept rates steady probably, I'm not sure if it had anything to do with Trump. Trump wanting to decrease interest rates a lot more, and he just said, you know what, I'm just going to go against what he wants, or if that's something he actually wanted to do, right? Or actually thinks that is the best for the economy. So yeah, it says, but it was clear from his comments that several unknowns about the economic policies of the new Trump administration could have future effect on Fed monetary policy, forcing the central bank to remain cautious about any further actions for now. We don't need to be in a hurry, he says, to adjust our policy stance. Powell cited tariffs, immigration, fiscal policy, and regulatory policy in broad areas that are still not defined as Trump 2.0 gets away. Yeah, Trump came in and he signed all these executive orders, all these things that are most likely going to affect the economy. I don't think it's not going to affect the economy, and he's just signing away, right? So Jerome Powell's probably looking at it, and he's probably like, okay, well, you know, I don't know if I could decrease interest rates this time around. I need to keep rates steady. So yeah, I think the fact that they don't have a good relationship, Trump and Jerome Powell, I think plays a part in him keeping interest rates steady, right? So it says we need to let those policies be articulated before we can make a plausible assessment, he said. we are going to be watching carefully the range of possibilities with Trump's tariff plans. He adds are very wide, and it's not yet known how they could filter to the U.S. consumers. Trump is threatening to impose tariffs on Mexico, Canada, China. He's trying to impose tariffs on every person, right? So obviously, this is going to affect the economy. If he's coming in, he's saying, "Okay, I'm going to sign the executive order here, here, here." I'm pretty sure the chair Fed, Jerome Powell, is paying attention to this, and he's like, "Okay, well, I don't know if I could decrease interest rates this time around. Let me go ahead and make it steady." And I think honestly, it was because of Trump. Like I think he said, "You know what? I'm just not going to decrease interest rates. You know, I'm just gonna keep it steady, right?" And the market, took a little dip. But if we take a look at some of these prices, BTC actually bounced back, right? BTC's at 103.74, and I don't see it. I don't see this stopping. Like I said, a lot of people connect BTC, the price of crypto, to federal interest rates, and they have all these theories on Twitter and all this stuff. I think BTC is going to do what BTC does. I don't think this is going to change, right? But people have theories for everything, and they'll just match up the price. Like those people that are talking about, oh well, when interest rate decreases, Bitcoin's going to go up. Well, that didn't happen, right? So I'm sure those people are going to come up with a different story and try to connect it. Well, he did. At least he didn't increase it. He kept it steady. But you see the price. I think this was the initial dip right here. This 102 to 101. I think that was the news on the Fed. Like probably we got some inside. People were like, oh, they're going to keep it steady. Probably a lot of people were spreading the word on the inside and like, okay, they're going to keep interest rates steady. We're not going to get those decreasing interest rates. So it went from 102 all the way to 101, and look at we're all the way back to 103. So I'm not really worried about decreasing interest rates. It's just it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it does make sense, right? Lower interest rates mean companies are able to borrow more and they're able to put more money into the economy. So yeah, you get more liquidity, but again, when you talk about a scarce assets like crypto, most of them are scarce. BTC is scarce. Ethereum is actually deflationary. Yeah, like when you talk about scarce assets, I really don't think interest rates. I just think people connect it to interest rates because the Bitcoin, the crypto market kind of follows the stock market now. But I think as we mature, I mean, we're already maturing. If we look at the overall market cap, we're at a $3.5 trillion market cap. Like I said, by the end of this bull market, mark my word, take a picture, 3.5 trillion. I think we'll be at $10 trillion market cap. That's just my opinion, right? And yeah, I think it's going to spread. Now, a lot of people are talking about utility coins, so coins that you can actually use to do stuff. So Solana is one of those coins, and all the American-based coins, right? I actually think they have a American-based. I don't know if it's on here or is it CoinGecko that they have an American-based list now that they show okay, these coins are American-based. So and the reason why that's kind of important is because I guess Trump's son said, oh, there may be no capital gains tax on American-based cryptos. I don't think that's going to happen because people are just going to move all their money into crypto and they're not going to pay capital gains taxes. So people are going to look for that loophole. So I don't think they could do that. Maybe it's a lower percentage. I could see them doing that. And I think that is the play, right? I think that's the play. The play is, okay, let's just come out let's say we want to do no crypto taxes for crypto, but they know they're not going to get that because that's too extreme, right? But they're like, okay, the capital gains tax for stocks is a little bit high. Maybe we get a separate tax bracket for crypto and the percentages are a lot lower. I think that's why they introduced it. I think that's why his son was talking about it because they knew they were. I think they know they won't get that, but they're just introducing it to get something less, right? To get at least something out there as far as a lower tax bracket. So maybe it's 37% right now for for stocks, but maybe for crypto it's like 30%, right? So yeah, I think I don't think again. I don't think we'll get zero capital gains taxes for cryptocurrency, but I think we do get a specified tax bracket that's a lot lower than the one we have now. All right, so let's take a look at some more prices here. Avalanche is taking a beating, but again, like if you guys watch my um if you watch my video, my live stream, I say that the top three assets to double. I think Avalanche is, especially at these prices right now, $32. I think Avalanche is going to be at 64, 65 by, within a couple months, in my opinion, right? Obviously, for this bull run, I think it's going to go a lot higher. I think we see Avalanche, easily touch its old highs and go up, further past that. So yeah, I think right now what we have a good buying opportunity. So if you haven't had a position in crypto, I think right now with them keeping rates the same, I think you now have a dip opportunity, right? A dip buying opportunity, right? Don't delay, act today. All right, and what else? What else am I looking at? I always said Uniswap is good too, right? A lot of people forgot about Uniswap, and it's because of Aerodrome Finance. Aerodrome is like on the Base network, and it's a DeFi protocol on the Base network, and people have forgot about Uniswap. But Uniswap does, I think it still does. It does more than Aerodrome, right? So, but people forget about it. They're actually thinking about enacting they put a government proposal to turn on a fee switch to charge a fee for people using the protocol. And token holders will get part of that fee, right? So, yeah, I think Uniswap is one that people sleep on. I definitely think this can touch its all-time highs, and the all-time highs for here is 40. I definitely think it could break it. I mean, the chart is looking good. If we're this is actually a tip. If your chart is looking like this on the way up, and we really haven't started altcoin season. Oh, sorry, I'm blocking this. If your chart looks like this and it's on the way up and it's going up, 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 like and it looks strong, most likely it's going to do good this bull run, right? And most likely it'll break all-time highs. Now, I can say that for the most part, for the first 100 on CoinMarketCap. So when I mean the first 100 on this page, I think they're in good hands because again, they have the most exposure. You got to think about it. When it comes to crypto bull runs, you want to have the most exposure. And if you're on the first 100, when retail comes in, the buyers, they're going to look at the first page and they're going to say, especially people that don't know about crypto, they're going to go to the first page on CoinMarketCap and say, okay, these are the first 10 coins. So that's usually when the money goes into. But I also think there's a sector out there that's going to really outperform the market, and that is the AI sector, and specifically in crypto, but we'll look at some stocks too. I think Render is going to do really good. BitBoy Crypto is talking about it. You have another coin like Akash that's similar to Render, but I like Akash a little better because it's open source. But look at this beautiful chart of Render, right? It's on the up and up. And again, if your chart looks like this right now, you're in good shape. Now, if your chart looks like this, let's go to something like ICP. A lot of people, and it's number 34 on CoinMarketCap. So I think it's going to bounce back, but this chart looks terrible, right? I mean, look at this chart. 428, it fell. And people are talking a lot about ICP on Twitter. They're thinking it's going to come back. And I think it'll come back too, just because it's number 34 on CoinMarketCap. It has exposure. I'm not really into the project like that. I don't really look at, what is this, exit page? No, I don't want to. Oh, it's unresponsive. Wait. Yeah, I think it's going to do good because, it has exposure. It's on the front page of CoinMarketCap, but not because it's really, it doesn't have much utility. At least from what I can see, I don't really see anything happening with this. What the heck? Why is this page unresponsive? Exit page. All right, whatever. I'll go back to it. And did my mouse died? You got to be kidding me. All right, so let's go back. Yeah, but something like ICP, I don't know about ICP, right? But that's not what you want your chart to look like. Most likely, ICP will not get back to 428, right? You want your chart to look like render or near, even near protocol, right? On the up and up, strong. I mean, it's not as bullish as render's chart, but it's still on the up and up. It's still there. Like it's still green. I think near, because it's in the AI sector, I think it'll definitely pass its all-time highs of $20. I think near could get to a 50 to $100 billion market cap. Right now it's sitting at 5 billion. All right, guys, if you're watching the live stream, please hit the like button, subscribe. Please hit the like button, subscribe. All right, that's enough for crypto. But like I said, because interest rates stood steady, crypto took a little hit, but I don't think it took as much of a hit as stocks. Like, let's look at Nvidia, and I actually think Nvidia bounced back. Oh no, never mind. I'm sorry. Nvidia was at 128, right? And it took this deep crash. And this is honestly, I think this has to do, it could have to do with interest rate cuts, but not interest rate cut. Well, the interest rates staying the steady, but I think the DeepSeek, the whole DeepSeek thing I spoke about. If you guys haven't seen that live stream, take a look at that live stream where I talk about DeepSeek. Basically, you know, there was a Chinese AI startup called DeepSeek, and it's able to do the tasks of like ChatGPT and Perplexity and is it Claude? I think from Anthropic. I forget what they call it. Sonic. I think it's Sonic, Claude Sonic or something like 3.5. So yeah, it's basically able to do what ChatGPT does, Perplexity does, with cheaper GPU power. And for the people that haven't done their research on it, the reason why it's able to do that is because of the algorithm. And I was actually reading, if you guys aren't familiar with the Davos World Economic Forum, it's where people that are that hold at a high regard, like, you know, executives, officials, and presidents of companies and things like that. Well, there was the CEO of Microsoft there, and he was saying, oh, well, you know, people don't understand that, yeah, you need GPUs. Like, so the physical hardware, you need GPUs for this AI, but a lot of it, what you need is the right algorithm. And that's kind of what China got right. They develop an algorithm to use less power from the GPUs and kind of focus on people search. So, you know, when you search in ChatGPT, it kind of right now for like ChatGPT 4, it kind of throws out cast a wide net where I hear the DeepSeek algorithm kind of just focuses on what you're actually asking for and tries to delegate your question to a source where you potentially could get your answer, right? Now, I never used DeepSeek. I'm not sure if it's the most accurate, but yeah, it's this is the reason why Nvidia probably crashed, right? Because a lot of fears. Now, I don't think Nvidia is going anywhere. You got people like Tesla, you got people like Meta buying this stuff, so it's not going anywhere, right? You can't beat Nvidia off of algorithm. You know, the hardware is still needed, and you're not gonna be able to beat somebody with an algorithm because it's open source, right? If you haven't heard, DeepSeek is open source, so anybody could copy it and build on, and that's what people are gonna do. It's more of a lesson, right? America's probably looking at it and like, okay, they came up with this. We need to, you know, get our mind right, and we need to get our stuff the way it needs to be, right? We need to get our algorithms up. We already have the hardware. We need the software, and that's what the Microsoft CEO was saying at the Davos Economic World Forum. He was saying, you know, the compute is great, but a lot of the focus, a lot of the hard work goes into the algorithm that these GPUs are going to use to do, you know, this AI compute, your artificial intelligence, right? So Nvidia's down, you know, buying opportunity. I'm not sure. Again, you know, I always said about Nvidia that it's overextended, right? Like, and what I mean by overextended, it went from 12 to 123, right? It needs some breathing room. I mean, could it go to 2, 3 trillion? I don't know. A lot of people were saying though in 2024 we were to end up at $200 Nvidia, and we didn't see it. All right, and I think it's just you got to understand this market is manipulated by market makers. It's not um, it's really not fundamentals. I mean, fundamentals do drive the company can't be empty. Like the company needs to make money, and Nvidia makes money. That's why it's at a $3 trillion valuation. But stock charts don't just do this, right? They don't just go up and not have a correction. So whatever drives it to like 78 or 80 at some point, maybe it does go to 200 first and then crashes all the way down. But whatever drives it to there, I mean, it's going to be some negative news, right? But usually some news comes out. DeepSeek is probably the catalyst that's going to start this downfall, right? Because people are worried about that. And yeah, I think NVIDIA, it's a good company. I definitely see it being at $10 trillion because AI is not going anywhere. They have the leading chips, GPU chips, and nobody's stopping Nvidia right now. AMD is there. There's always going to be some competitors, but Nvidia just has the hold. It's almost like the Apple of GPUs. It's just not going anywhere. All right. So long term, Nvidia is good. Short term, I don't really care for Nvidia. Now, a stock that I would care for other than Nvidia would be Dell because is Dell is helping these companies build out their AI factories. Like I said before, Dell's helping out their companies build out their AI factories. So, people are sleeping on Dell. I gotta move this so you can see, but it's a $71 billion market cap, right? So, I think it has a lot more room to grow, especially if this AI narrative takes off and people need somebody to build out their AI factory, and Dell has the stack to do it. I think Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, said Dell's like the only one we're going to really go to get this done because they have the tools necessary to build out these AI factories to make them more efficient, and so they could train and develop their language learning models, right? So yeah, Dell is something I would look at. I wouldn't be looking at something that's $1 trillion market. I know, some people, I'm not gonna mention, but some people on YouTube are crazy about Nvidia, and yeah, I think it could be a long-term play. It could be a $10 trillion play, but how long is it gonna take to get a $10 trillion, right? And that's why I tell you guys, you want to look for the double and the triple. I probably rather invest in Palantir than Nvidia. So with Palantir's at $79, 181. It's just a smaller play. It's still a quality company, but I think it gets to 150 before Nvidia gets to 6 trillion, right? What is more plausible? The market cap doubling to 360 or the Nvidia's market cap going to 6 trillion, right? I think inevitably Nvidia's market cap will go to 6 trillion, 10 trillion. But who knows, right? Maybe because right now they have a monopoly on creating GPUs and they charge $40,000 a chip. I don't know if that's going to be sustainable. I don't know. They may come up with some technology where you can make chips for easier. I remember before, if you guys remember, the USB sticks, they were expensive back then. Like this was like 10, 15 years ago. The little USB sticks, you're going to save like your projects on from school or whatever. But before they were like 50, 60 bucks. This was probably like 10, 12 years ago. Now you could get like a 20, 30 gig for like 10 bucks, right? So memory just becomes cheaper to get because they come out with better technology. So, and I don't think, companies are going to sit back and just let NVIDIA be the only one making chips. You got AMD behind their back. You got Intel behind their back. And Intel's an American company, right? That's another one that's on sale, in my opinion. Intel. It's at 20 bucks. Chart is just beat up. And again, this is because they lost their CEO. CEO got ousted because they didn't think he was performing too well. So yeah, but I think this one will be a generational play too, like Dell. Probably the next 3 to 5 years, you could probably get a solid double or triple on Nvidia, on Intel and Dell, in my opinion. So if we take a look at the overall markets to close this up, the S&P is down, Dow's down, Nasdaq's down, Russell's down, crude oil's up, and gold is kind of stagnant, right? But that's pretty much it. That's what happened today with the Fed. The Fed kept rates steady, and they didn't care what Trump wanted. Trump wanted to decrease interest rates. He wanted to decrease interest rates a lot, but Jerome Powell said no. I just want to keep them steady. I don't think the economy is moving the way I want it to move. Let's keep interest rates steady, right? So we'll see how this plays out. Obviously, this is throwing a wrench in the crypto community because, although I don't think rates play a role in crypto prices because it's a scarce thing, it does play a role, but it is not the end all be all, right? It's just like a catalyst or something like that. And after a couple weeks, the catalyst doesn't mean anything anymore, right? It's just short-term volatility is basically what it is. This catalyst right now for that we kept interest rates steady is just a catalyst. It's just a negative catalyst. Now, if we would have had decreasing interest rate, if he would have came out today and he would have said 25 basis point cut, we're cutting 25 basis points, then market would have shot up and then probably crashed right after that, right, for a little bit. But either way, crypto's going up in price. Quality blue chip stocks are going up in price, and you just need just be patient, right? Especially for the crypto holders, you just got to be patient. But that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day. Night.